ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பிள்ளைலோக்காச்சாரியர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். Pilyalokacharya mercifully composed many Rahasya Granthams. Among those, Mumukshupadi is considered as the foundational one. The importance of Mumukshupadi is greatly emphasized in our Sampradayam, as it talks about Rahasya Trayam, that is Tirumantram, Dvayamahamantram and Charma Shlokam. It must be learnt by everyone, even not just once, at least a few times, so that the meanings are well understood. The deep philosophy of this Rahasya Trayam must be very well understood by all of us. In the first section of Mumukshupadi, the meanings of Tirumantram is explained in great detail by Pilyalokacharya. Subsequently, he explains Dvayamahamantram, and after that he explains Charma Shlokam. In the Tirumantra Prakaranam, in this first section, he first explains the greatness of Ashtaksharam, the advent of Ashtaksharam, where it was given, who gave it, and so on. And subsequently, he explained the greatness of the mantram over Bhagavan. After that, he emphasized that even though the mantram is great in comparison to Bhagavan, we still focus on the meaning of the mantram, because we consider Bhagavan as the means and the end. And after that, he started explaining the meanings. He explained how the Ashtaksharam is made of, what are all the different parts. Of that, first Pranavam is taken and is explained by Pilyalokacharya in great detail. So up to 74th Sutram, Pranavam was completely explained by Pilyalokacharya. We have seen up to that Sutram, 74th Sutram. So at the end of the 74th Sutram, Pilyalokacharya has given all the meanings relating to Pranavam, and Mamunigal in the concluding section says, with this, the Pradama Padam, which is Pranavam, the meanings of that Pranavam was mercifully explained by Pilyalokacharya. That was the conclusion in the commentary section. Now from 75th Sutram, we have to see the introduction for 75th Sutram given by Manavala Mamunigal. Manavala Mamunigal has given very beautiful commentary for Pilyalokacharya. Mamunigal is hailed as Vishatavakshikamani. He gives the apt amount of explanation for each Sutram. He does not skip even a word of Pilyalokacharya. He elaborates each word to the extent it is necessary for him to make us understand. So with his commentary, we are understanding the meanings for Mumukshupadi. So 75th Sutram's introduction section. First, Pilyalokacharya explains the meaning of Mantra Shesham. The Pranavam here is the first part, and the remaining part Shesham means here it's the remaining part, is known as Mantra Shesham. That is Namaha and Narayanaya. Pillai is mercifully explaining how the Mantra Shesham, that is Namaha and Narayanaya, is the elaboration of Pranavam. That is the whole intent of Pillai, and he is explaining that in the subsequent sections, starting with the 75th Sutram. The 75th Sutram is Inimel Pranavathai Vivarikkirathu. Inimel, that is further in this particular Ashtakshara, after the Pranavam, whatever is remaining, that explains in further detail what is already present in Pranavam. Now, Mamnigal's commentary for this particular Sutram. Here, Vivarana, so we know what is Pranavam, we have already seen. Inimel, that is whatever is subsequent, that is Namaha and Narayanaya, that is also clear. So, Mamnigal just focuses now on the word Vivarikkirathu, that means Vivarana. Now, Vivarana means whatever is explained previously, whatever is given here as the Sutram, as the whatever is given in Pranavam, bringing in more thoughts into it, revealing further details, and elaborating on whatever is explained previously. That is what Vivarana means. Vivarana means whatever is required in addition to make us understand this better, and whatever needs to be elaborated in previously explained sections. That is called Vivarana. That is explained in Deepa Prakasha. There is a Grantham by Vadikesari Azhagiya Manavazhiyar, and in his Grantham, which is a elaboration on Rahasya Trayartham, so Vadikesari Azhagiya Manavazhiyar seems to have done an elaboration, a composition on Rahasya Trayam. So there he has explained this particular sentence, that is Uktartha Vishadikara Yuktartantara Bodhanam Matham Vivaranam Tatra Mahitanam Manishinam. So this is a statement quoted from Vadikesari Manavazhiyar's work. Here it is said that the principle, that is the Vyakyanam, generally commentary means to clarify the stated concept. Whatever concept which is given, it is necessary to clarify it. Any doubts need to be cleared in it, and further describe suitable ideas. Whatever additional supporting information need to be given, that need to be also given. That is what a Vyakyana or a commentary is. So that Vivarana is also explanation, elaboration. So that elaboration means giving clarity in whatever was already explained by giving additional inputs. So that is the commentary given for the 75th Sutram. Now 76th Sutram, Mamnigal says, how is that done? How is this Namaha and Narayanaya, how is that elaborating what is already said in Pranavam? And that is mercifully explained by Pillai, starting with Ukarathai Vivarikkirathu Namassu. So the Sutram, 76th Sutram is Ukarathai Vivarikkirathu Namassu, Akarathai Vivarikkirathu Narayana Padam, Makarathai Vivarikkirathu Chaturthi, Narapadam என்றும் சொல்லுவார்கள். That is the Sutram. So simple meaning for that Sutram is Ukarathai Vivarikkirathu Namassu. That is, whatever is said in Ukara, that is elaborated in Namaha. Namaha is the middle word in Ashtaksharam. That Namaha is an explanation of the middle letter of Pranavam. Ukara is the middle letter of Pranavam. Whatever is explained in Ukara, that is elaborated in Namaha. So we can see that there is a relationship between Pranavam and Namaha and Narayanaya. And similarly, there is a relationship between Ashtaksharam and Dvaya Mahamantram. And there is a relationship between Dvaya Mahamantram and Charama Shlokam. So in this manner, everything is related. Rahasyatrayam is, all the three Rahasyams are related, interrelated to each other. So Ukara is elaborated in Namaha. Then Akarate vivarikkirathu Narayana Padam. Akara is elaborated in Narayana, Narayana Padam, the word Narayana. So letter Akara, whatever is explained there, is elaborated in the word Narayana. Makarate vivarikkirathu Chaturthi. Whatever is explained in Makara, in Pranavam, that is elaborated in Chaturthi. Chaturthi here is Ayapadam. Aya in Narayanaya, there is Aya in the end. That Aya elaborates whatever is in Makara. Narapadam endrum solluvargal. It is said that the word Nara in the Narayanaya, that is also explained as an explanation of Makara. So Makara is elaborated in both Chaturthi as well as Nara. So both words can be said as elaborating the meanings of Makara. So that is the simple meaning for this sutram. Let us see the commentary of Manavala Mamnigal. So Mamnigal explains it very nicely here. So here first Ukara is explaining Namaha. When eliminating dependence or servitude towards others, that is explained already in Ukara. We have seen that Ukara means emphasis and exclusivity, that whatever relationship Jivatma has towards Paramatma, the relationship of being a servitor, that is an exclusive relationship to Bhagavan, and that was already explained in Ukara. So that is explained in Namaha. That concept is explained in Namaha. Now next, the Akara. Akara speaks about Bhagavan, who is the Rakshaka, Ishvara. Ishvara is the Rakshaka, and such Rakshaka means protector, savior, and such Rakshaka's Swarupa. And so here Akara is speaking about Rakshaka, that is Bhagavan, Ishvara, his Swarupam, and the Chetana and Achetana, all of these are protected. Bhagavan is the protector, and all the Chetana and Achetana, they are all the protected. And his qualities, when Bhagavan is the Rakshaka, he must have certain qualities. We have already seen, such as Rakshakatva, Karanatva, Sheshitva, Shriyapatitva, and then there are other qualities for Bhagavan. All of those we have already seen. So those are also talked about in the Akara. And then how he protects, how Bhagavan protects, that is also explained. So all of these are explained briefly in Akara, and they are explained elaborately in Narayana Padam, in the word Narayana. And then Aya Padam. Aya explains, that is the Chaturthi, explains Makara further, elaborates what is explained in Makara, and that is explained here. Nakinchit kurvatas sheshatvam, akinchit karasya sheshatva anupapattihi. So there are certain statements from Mimamsaka here which explain that when someone is a Shesha, he must have Sheshatvam. When someone is a servitor, he must have servitude, he must deliver, he must engage in activities which is for the pleasure of the master. If that is not there, then there is no Swarupam, there is no Sheshatvam in the Atma. So this Atma is the abode of Sheshatvam. The Sheshatvam, that is servitude, is resting on Jivatma, and that Sheshatvam must be manifested by some act, some service. If that is not there, then the Sheshatvam will not exist at all. It will become irrelevant. So, this Chaturthi is the one which explains that Sheshatvam. How the Atma is engaging in service, that is explained through Chaturthi. Hence, Chaturthi is elaborating the nature of Makara, that is Jivatma. That is one explanation. And then there is the other aspect. We have already seen in the Sutram itself, Narapada, that is the word, this section in the Narayanaya, there is Nara in the beginning. That also explains Makara. So there is a second view, and that is explained further by Manaval Mamnigal in the commentary. The Jivatma, who is indicated by Makara, his qualities such as Nityatvam, Ekarupatvam, Bahutvam, all of these are explained elaborately in Narapadam. That is, Jivatma is eternal, Nitya. Narapadam, we are going to see Narapadam further. Nara means collection of all eternally existing entities, elements. So, these qualities of Jivatma are explained in the Narapadam. Hence, there is a relationship between Makara and the Narapadam. What are those qualities? That is Nityatvam, that is Jivatma is eternal. That quality is present. Ekarupatvam, Jivatma is in a singular form. It's Anu. It's atomic in nature. So that is also explained in Narapadam. Further we will see that. Bahutvam, there are not just one Atma, there are so many Atmas. We have seen that previously while saying Makaram, that it is Jati Eka Vachanam, Samashti Vachakam. We have seen all of that. So that there are many Jivatmas, that is also explained in Narapadam. So because of these relationships, these similarities, it can be said that Makara is elaborated in Narapadam also, the word Nara also. Padam means word here, so we have to remember that. So thus, in this particular sutram, the relationship between Pranavam and the Mantra Shesham, that is, Pranavam is A, U, Ma, and Mantra Shesham is Namaha and Narayanaya. The relationship between the individual parts of Pranavam and the Namaha and Narayanaya are explained in detail in this particular sutram. So that is 76th sutram. Next is 77th sutram. There is a question here. Mamnigal raises that question and says that Pillai Lokacharya is specifically answering this question here. Why did the explanation, see we have seen A, U, Ma, but when we see the Mantra Shesham, first U is explained and then A and Ma are explained. So the question here is why the Mantra Shesham is not in the same order as the Pranavam. That is the question here. For that, Pillai Lokacharya is explaining starting with Adaive. So 77th sutram is Adaive Vivariyadoligirathu Virodhi poi Anubhavikka Vendugayale. Simple meaning is, this is not explained in chronological sequence. That is, A, U, Ma are not explained in the same sequence in the Mantra Shesham. That is because first Virodhi should be eliminated. Then only experience, enjoyment can be present. So, Namaha talks about Virodhi, so Namaha is first present so that the Virodhi is eliminated first and then one can enjoy the result. This is similar to, let's say, if you have stomachache, then there is nice prasadam, some sweet pongal is there, full of ghee and wonderfully cooked and wonderfully offered to Perumal, it is there. If we have to be able to consume that prasadam, first our stomachache should be eliminated. Then only we can joyfully eat the prasadam. Otherwise we will not be able to consume the prasadam. So this elimination of hurdles, Virodhi, is first. That is why while giving the elaboration, first Namaha is explained and then Narayanaya is explained. Narayanaya speaks about A and Ma, but Ukara is explained in Namaha. So first Namaha is explained because Virodhi need to be eliminated first. Let us see Mamunigal's commentary. Here the sequence is not seen in the same manner in the Pranavam and in the Namaha and Narayanaya. This is because first the Ahankara and Mamakara are the Virodhi and that need to be eliminated. Those two of them, both of them need to be eliminated. That is why Namaha is explained first. By Namaha, by having proper understanding of Namaha, one's Ahankaram and Mamakaram will be eliminated and then one can engage in service towards Bhagavan. So this is the concept behind the change in sequence while doing the elaboration. Here Ahankara means considering they have to be same as Atma, Dehatma Abhimanam. Mamakara means considering oneself to be independent and having Swaswatantriyam. So these two need to be eliminated and then one can engage in service properly. That is 77th Sutram. Now 78th Sutram. Pililokacharya starts explaining the meaning of Namaha first, and he is splitting the Namaha into two parts and he is identifying those two parts in this particular Sutram. That is the introduction given by Mamunigal. 78th Sutram. Namasu, Na endrum, Maha endrum, Irandu Padam. So there are two parts in Namaha. Namasu is Tamil way of saying it. Namaha is Sanskritam word. So when writing and when speaking in Tamil, it is said as Namasu. In Sanskritam, it is Namaha. So there are two, each part, each letter can be seen as a word because it has specific meaning in it. So that is the two parts of Namaha. 79th Sutram's introduction. What are the meanings for these two words? That is the question here, and Pililokacharya mercifully explains the meanings for the two parts or the two words, starting with Ma Engira Ittal. 79th Sutram. Maha Engira Ittal, Tanaku Uriyan Engirathu, Na Endru Attai Tavikkirathu. So here simple meaning is Maha means for me. That is explained in Maha with the use of the Na prefix. Such ownership, that possessiveness is eliminated. So Maha says for me, Na says not. So Namaha says not for me, I am not for me. That is the simple explanation. Here Mamunigal explains, that is, Maha is a word which ends with the Shashti Vibhakti. So Maha is the same as Mama. Oftentimes you will hear Mama in Sanskritam. Mama is written here as Maha. So the Mama is a word ending with Shashti Vibhakti. That means for me. Ma generally is self, and Ma means for self. That is the same as Maha. Saying Maha will be indicating the meaning for me. So that is for the Atma, it is highlighting the Swatantriyam, independence. And that Swatantriyam is opposite, contrary to the Sheshatva nature of the Jivatma. By nature, we have already seen Sheshatva me Swarupam. For Jivatma, the true nature is Sheshatvam only. We have seen that. So when there is Mama, when there is Maha, it indicates that there is some Swatantriyam for me. When we say for me, it is for me, me. Then there is a tinge of Swatantriyam. And when we add Na in the beginning, that eliminates such Swatantriyam. It is said as Nanj in Sanskritam, that Na when added, it eliminates the Swatantriyam. So that is the commentary for 79th Sutram. Now 80th Sutram. By the Pillilokacharya is now explaining mercifully the meaning for the two words Na and Maha together, starting with Aga. Namaha என்கிற இத்தால். So 80th Sutram, Aga Namaha என்கிற இத்தால் தனக்கு உரியனன்று என்கிறது. So he is giving the comprehensive meaning of the two words together, put together. We have seen it already in the previous Sutram. It is an explanation, further explanation of the same. Thus, Aga means thus, Namaha என்கிற இத்தால், with Namaha, தனக்குரிய நன்று என்கிறது. It is saying that I am not for me. The Jivatma is not for the self. It is for Bhagavan. That is the ultimate explanation. So here, Mamunigal's commentary, instead of saying Mahana, here it is saying Namaha. That is because first elimination should be done, and then only what is to be eliminated is to be shown. This is explained based on a Pasuram of Nammalvar. It's a very well known Pasuram. Vidumin Muttravum. So Vidumin Muttravum is in Thiruvaimozhi, second Padigam in the first centum. There Nammalvar says Vidumin, give up, Muttravum, all. That is what he says. Now instead of saying all give up, instead of saying what is to be given up first and then saying give it up, Nammalvar is saying give up all. Why is that? Because it is like an emergency situation. For example, there is a fire. At that time, when somebody is outside the home and they see there is fire, they look at inside, the people inside, and they say, come out, and then they will say there is fire. Because coming out is more important than telling them that there is fire. Hence, come out is said first and then they will say fire. Similarly, Vidumin Muttravum, giving up is more important than the materialistic, all the materialistic aspects. So, Alvar said Vidumin Muttravum. Similarly, here also, Na Maha. That is how the word is framed. First, negation is given and then Maha is, that is for me, is given, so that one understands the necessity of giving up, one understands the import, the importance of giving up. So that is explained in the 80th Sutram. Now 81st Sutram, that is a very important Sutram. In Ukara, well, let us see the introduction of Mamunigal for the 81st Sutram. While explaining Ukaram, it was said that Jivatma is not present for the pleasure of self or for the pleasure of others. It was clearly explained there. So, while elaborating that, there is a question, should it not be emphasized again here also that Jivatma is not for self and not for others? So, the importance of not existing for self, where is it explained and how is it explained? That is the question here, and Pillai is explaining the meaning for that in the Sutram, in the 81st Sutram, starting with Pirar Kuriyanana Andru. So here, Sutram is Pirar Kuriyanana Andru, Tan Vailakshanyathai Kaatti Meetkalam, Tanakkennum Andru Yogyadayum Kuda Azhiyum. So here, the principle here is Na Maha, not for me. That is what is present directly in the Sutram. So the emphasis here is on not for me. So not for others is kind of in the back foot now, because the word directly says Na Maha, I am not for me. While explaining Ukaram, the aspect of not being for self and not being for others are explained clearly, and the meaning which is derived is Atma is only for Bhagavan. So here also the emphasis should be for both, not for self, not for others, but Namaha only emphasizes on self, not for me. Why is that? That is the question, and the meaning here for the Sutram is explaining it nicely. When someone is being a servitor for another person, let us say that a person X is a servitor for Y. Bhagavan can now come to X and say that you are serving Y. But you see me, you look at me, I am much greater than that Y person. So you should be serving me. That is the apt act for you. Bhagavan can say that and he can rescue the Jivatma. But when someone is for self, when someone is saying that I am only for myself, in that case it will be very difficult for Bhagavan to rescue such person who is focused fully on self. That is why this Namaha is focusing on eliminating the hurdle of not serving the interest of self and focusing on that particular aspect. So that is the simple meaning for this 84th Sutram. So the question is, Na Maha indicates the independence aspect. I am not for. Maha indicates for me, and Namaha means I am not for me. So here it is eliminating the dependence on self. That is, it is eliminating the independence from the self. And that is required because when someone is dependent already towards someone else, then Bhagavan can easily show his greatness and rescue such person. If one is so focused on self, it will be difficult even for Bhagavan to rescue such person. That is why the focus of Namaha is on eliminating the dependence on self. So that is the simple meaning. We will see the commentary of Manavada Mamunigal. So Mamunigal says, when someone is Anyashesha Bhuta, when someone is a servitor of somebody else, because he already has Sheshatvam, because he is already serving someone else, Bhagavan can come to that Atma and say, look at my qualities such as Sarva Karanatva, Sarva Rakshakatva, Sarva Sheshitva, and there are so many other qualities in me. So why don't you serve me? So Bhagavan can say that. So he can say, I am the cause of all. I am the protector of all. I am the Lord of all. Being in such greatness, you should be aptly serving me instead of serving someone else. So the Atma can be rescued in this manner. But if the Atma thinks, I am only for me, at that time, if Bhagavan comes and says, Tvam me, you are mine, at that time, Atma will not say, no. Atma will not say, okay, I accept. He will not say that. Instead, Atma will say, Aham me, I am mine. Because Atma is totally focused on self. So, the main enemy, main hurdle here is independence. If one is already dependent on some other person or some other devata, Bhagavan can easily rescue such person. But if someone is so focused on self, me, if that concept is overwhelming in that person, even the qualification to serve Bhagavan will not be there because there is no servitude in that individual. That is why Namaha focuses on eliminating such independence. So that is 81st Sutram. So here the focus is to eliminate the independence of the Jivatma, which is the main hurdle. Now 82nd Sutram, Mamnigal raises a question and highlights how Pillulokacharya highlights explains the answer for this question. So the question here is, with this Namaha, what is the aspect highlighted? And Pillulokacharya mercifully explains, Ittal Virodhiyai Kazhikirathu. In the 82nd Sutram, Pillulokacharya is saying, Ittal Virodhiyai Kazhikirathu. Now Ittal means what? Idu. Ittal represents Idu. Idu means this. With this. This here is Namaha. So by Namaha, Virodhi is eliminated. The hurdle is eliminated. So that is the 82nd Sutram. The introduction for 83rd Sutram. There is a question, is there only one enemy or are there multiple enemies? And for that, Pillulokacharya says, Virodhidan Moondru. So 83rd Sutram is Virodhidan Moondru. There are three Virodhis. There are three hurdles, three enemies. 84th Sutram, introduction. What are those three Virodhis? What are those three hurdles? For that, Pillulokacharya says, they are Swarupa Virodhi, Upaya Virodhi and Prapya Virodhi. So 84th Sutram, Adavadu, Swarupa Virodhiyum, Upaya Virodhiyum, Prapya Virodhiyum. So the three Virodhis, three hurdles are explained here by Pillulokacharya mercifully. What are those three Virodhis? There is Swarupa Virodhi, the hurdle with respect to true nature of the self. And then there is Upaya Virodhi, hurdle with respect to the means. And then there is Prapya Virodhi, hurdle with respect to the end, the goal. So these are the three Virodhis. Mamnigal explains in detail in the commentary. That is, the Swarupa Virodhi is already explained in Pratama Padam, in the first, that is, the Swarupam is explained in the Pratama Padam, that is the Swarupam of Jivatma, being a servitor of Bhagavan, is already explained in first word, Pratam Padam, and the Virodhi for that is Swarupa Virodhi. The second word, that is this Namaha, from the meaning which we derive from Namaha, we get the proper upayam, the means. and the Virodhi for such means, such upayam is upaya Virodhi. And then Narayanaya, the final word, explains Prapyam, and the Virodhi for that is Prapya Virodhi. So these are the three Virodhis. And this Namaha, the middle word, by Kakakshi Nyayam. Kakakshi Nyayam means crow's eye. There is a Nyayam named Kakakshi Nyayam, which is based on how crow looks at all the different sides. The crow will first see one side, and then it will see the middle, and then it will see the other side. So the same way, this Namaha, when it is read with all the three words in Ashtaksharam, that is Om Namaha, Namo Namaha, Narayanaya Namaha. When it is joined with all the three words, that is the first word Pranavam, second word Namaha, third word Narayanaya Namaha. When Namaha, which is the middle word, is joined with all three of them, we eliminate the Swarupa Virodhi, Upaya Virodhi and Prapya Virodhi. So this is how we eliminate the Virodhi in all the three Virodhis, all the three hurdles. 85th Sutram. How are the three Virodhis, hurdles, get eliminated? That is the question, and that is explained in detail, mercifully, by Pillai in the next Sutram, that is 85th Sutram, in three sentences. Swarupa Virodhi Kaligayavadu, Yane ni en udaimayum niye endirukkai. Upaya Virodhi Kaligayavadu, Kalevai Tunbam Kalayadolivai, Kalaigan Matrilen endirukkai. Prapya Virodhi Kaligayavadu, Matrainam Kamangal Matru endirukkai. So the three hurdles which are eliminated by joining Namaha with the three words in the Ashtaksharam, that is explained in this particular Sutram in detail. So first sentence says Swarupa Virodhi Kaligayavadu. How is the Swarupa Virodhi gets eliminated? By remaining as said in Alvar's Pasuram, Yane ni en udaimayum niye. So for every hurdle, respective Alvar's Pasuram is shown. Alvars have explained how these hurdles are eliminated, and they relate to each of the words in Ashtaksharam. So the Swarupa Virodhi, the hurdle in the true nature, will be eliminated when one remains as said in the Pasuram by Nammalvar, Yane ni en udaimayum niye. Then Upaya Virodhi Kaligayavadu, the way the hurdles in the means, Upayam, get eliminated is by remaining as said in Nammalvar's Pasuram again, Kalaivai Tunbam Kalayadolivai Kalaihan Matrilen. And finally, the Virodhi in Prapyam, in the goal, that will get eliminated if one remains as said in the Pasuram, Matrainam Kamangal Matru of Andal Nachiyar. That is Tirupavai. In the end we see that in Chitranjari Hale Pasuram. So it's a very well known Pasuram, everyone knows this. So by remaining as explained by Alvars in these three Pasurams, the three hurdles get eliminated. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary for this particular Sutram. It's a very nice explanation given by Mamnigal. Swarupa Virodhi, that is, what is the Virodhi for Swarupam? What is the hurdle for Swarupam? That is to remain Yane Endanade. So in the Pasuram, in the same Pasuram, Yane ni en udaimayum niye. In the same Pasuram, first Alvar says Yane Endanade. That means I am everything, I have everything. If we have that concept, then that is hurdle. That is a Virodhi for our Swarupam. That means we are not understanding our true nature properly. But if we want to eliminate that, then we have to remain as said by Alvar in the same Pasuram, Yane ni en udaimayum niye. What does that mean, Yane ni? If we look at it literally, then it means Yaneni, you are me. Yen udaimayum niye. Everything I have is also you. That is the literal meaning. But the actual meaning for that is Atma and Atmiyam. Atma means self, Yane, ni. Atma is you. What does that mean? That means Atma is a Shariram, Prakaram for Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the Shariri and Atma is Shariram for him. And then En Udaimayum Niye, my belongings also are you. That means all the entities which I consider as mine, they are also Shariram for you, Shariram for Bhagavan. Everything is Shariram, everything is body for Bhagavan, inseparable. Prakaram means inseparable portion of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is Prakari. All the Atmas and all the Achetana materials, everything is Prakaram for Bhagavan. So, remaining in this particular state, having this concept clearly in the mind, will help us eliminate the Swarupa Virodhi. And then Upaya Virodhi, that is, the hurdle for Upayam is Swarakshane Swanvayam. Swarakshane, to protect oneself. Swa-anvayam, one is engaged in that. That is the hurdle for Upayam. Now what is Upayam? Bhagavan's divine feet is the Upayam. Only that is the Upayam. Bhagavan's mercy is the Upayam. If we think that we can protect ourselves or someone else will protect us, then that is a hurdle for the means, for the Upayam. To eliminate that, one should be in the state, as said in Alvar's Pasuram, Kalaivai Tunbam, Kalayadodivai, Kalaigan Matrilen. This is in Aramude Padigam, Tirukudandai, Aramudan Bhagavan, his Pasuram for Namalvar's Pasuram for Aramudan Emberuman. So this Pasuram, Alvar says, Kalaivai Tunbam, Kalayadodivai. Kalaivai Tunbam, you eliminate my sorrow. That is, you give liberation. Kalayadodivai, you don't liberate me. It doesn't matter whether you do it or you don't do it. Kalaikan Matrilen. Kalaikan means Rakshaka, protector. Matrilen means I don't have. So I don't have any other protector than you. You are the only protector for me. Whether you protect me or you don't protect me, it is up to you. So if we get to that state, that is the state of being situated well in the Upayam, in the means. That is total surrender. That is total Sharanagati. If we think that, okay, if you don't protect me, then I have other ways to protect myself. Either I can protect myself or I'll go to somebody else to protect myself. If we say that, then that is a hurdle. So that hurdle can be eliminated only if we have firm faith in Bhagavan and tell him that whether you protect me or not, I have no other go. It is I am your responsibility. So that state is the state of eliminating the hurdles. So whether you eliminate my sorrow or not, I don't have any other protector. So declaring that and being in that state is elimination of Upaya Virodhi. So that is second aspect. Then Prapya Virodhi. That is, what is the hurdle for Prapyam? Swaprayojana Buddhi. Swaprayojana Buddhi means doing something for our own interest, our own gain, our own pleasure. If we do that, then that is Prapya Virodhi. Prapya means goal. If we have that goal for our own pleasure, then that is Prapya Virodhi. How to eliminate that? That can be eliminated by remaining in the state as declared by Andal Nachiyar. Andal Nachiyar says in Tirupavai, towards the end, Matrai nam kamangal matru. You change our desires, all the other desires we have. Now, Andal Nachiyar has, what desire does she have? She doesn't have any other desire than serving Bhagavan. But here she declares, she says to Bhagavan, eliminate my hurdle. So that hurdle is when we do Kaikaryam, when we do service to Bhagavan, if we think that it is for our own pleasure, then that itself is a hurdle. That is the biggest hurdle one can have. One can grow up to top level, one can grow up to the highest stage, but in the end, if one becomes attached to self-pleasure, to engage in Kaikaryam and derive pleasure for self instead of giving pleasure only purely for Bhagavan, that will become the biggest hurdle. So that should be eliminated. So only when one constantly prays, Matrenam Kamangal Matre, eliminate my other hurdles, then only one can remain free from the Prapya Virodhi. So these three are the ways to eliminate Swarupa Virodhi, Upaya Virodhi and Prapya Virodhi, says Mamnigal in the commentary. With this we will stop today and we will continue on in the next session. Alvar Emberumanar Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam, Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download Koyil, K-O-Y-I-L app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, Koyil.org.